Before Sarah's feeling under the weather, as is Tim. So Mr. Sandoval will be chairing the board meeting and I'll be filling in for Tim tonight. I think we're all here and present, and Nicole is getting our recording started.
Oh gosh.
Recording has started, so you guys should be good to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide our camera if you want to.
Yeah, I'll hide it.
Okay, so then you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order.
I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:04 p.m. We're going to start off with roll call. Ms. Arellano?
Here.
Ms. Turner is not present. Mr. Patel?
Here.
Ms. Aragui Saldaña?
Here.
Do we meet quorum? Now, can I get a motion to approve the agenda unless there's any other item that needs to be added?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, Ella makes a motion to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconds, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, Captain. Do I have to do roll call, Melissa?
Say that again, please.
Do I need to do a roll call since we're doing virtual?
No, I think that's fine.
Okay. So it was 5-0, so motion passes. Now if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Correction, that'll be 4-0, correct, Diego?
Or, yes, sorry, you're right, correct, 4-0. Thank you, sir. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so now we move to item 2.0, consideration of approval of consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve, consent agenda.
Mr. Patel motion, can I get a second?
I second.
Okay, Ms. Haragi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Now we go to item 3, reports and information, reports from district organizations. Do we have any, Melissa?
I believe Juanita has a statement from SRTA.
Pulling it up. You can click the mute.
Okay, this is Nicole reporting for SRTA. So I'm going to read their email. SRTA wishes to thank the SRUSD negotiations team for moving quickly through the MOU process in response to the emergency school closure. On the part of our negotiations team, we felt that the online negotiations went smoothly and successfully. We also want to acknowledge the extraordinary work of Melissa and her team, Nicole and Becky, the principals and TOSAs, and the classified staff for navigating us through this process. We are now realizing the truly stunning impact of switching from classroom to distance learning and the unprecedented workload that has created for our district administrators. We appreciate and thank you for responding to the overwhelming urgency of the task and acknowledge the long and stressful work days which you have had to shoulder. You are all deeply appreciated. As teachers maneuver through this transitional time, we have been overwhelmed by the creativity and resourcefulness of our teachers as they tackle a whole new learning approach to teaching. We are looking forward to having all our students receive their devices as we move to this new world of distance learning. Again, we appreciate the district's support in this endeavor. We hope to resume negotiations for the upcoming school year at the end of April, although we will certainly be flexible if that date needs to be adjusted. It is the goal of the SRTA to move expeditiously through the negotiations process in order to begin the new school year focusing on restoring classroom learning and student success. Respectfully submitted, Jill Lutz, President, SRTA.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicole. Is there any other organizations or committees?
We have not received any other comments from organizations or committees.
Now we go to 3.2 reports from school principals, directors, department staff.
Real briefly, good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well and your families are safe and sound. I rolled out, the last time I reported, we did a district-wide PWN to give to families. We've done paper and also posted on the website to just give us a blanket coverage in handling IEPs and services to students, and stating that we will provide all the resources possible in a timely manner to the best of our ability. Since our last board meeting, I've issued a second prior written notice to families in regards to the suspension of assessments. And so those will be going out to, they were started going out today, and we will post it to the website as well. That helps, it's a protection to the district, notifying families if their students have open assessment plans, that we will resume those assessments once we are back in a student on campus situation. The only assessment process that we can continue at this point would be a records review. As you know, as educators, we assess students and their needs based on what they need in the school setting. MCDH, students receiving MCDH services, we've picked that up either in a tele model such as this, as well as phone. We will be rolling out our related service providers like our SLPs and OT. They will begin virtual settings with students next week as well. We've done paper packets up to this time to make sure that we had privacy protections and protocols in place before teachers, whether it's SPED or general ed, to be working with students. In special education, I've given the directive to related services to not work with more than 3 students in a group, just for management purposes and being able to see what's happening and monitor screens. I think that's going to go well. We'll also continue to provide paper or build resources on websites for families if they don't have the capacity to virtual in a FaceTime setting like this. All of the case carriers have done an amazing job in maintaining contact with their families and reaching out on a regular basis, setting office hours, as well as coaching parents on how to help their kids with speech therapy at home, OT therapy at home. They've developed some amazing resources so that parents can use things that they have, use items they have within their home or situations they have as a family that can help students with pragmatics, OT, those types of issues. So we're happy with that. Overall, I know Sarah had a question last time about interdistrict and intra-district transfers. We're pretty up to date on those. For the most part, we're running about the same as we did last year, but I hate to put a solid number on anything because I think we're kind of in uncertain times of what overall enrollment's going to look like. But I can tell you this, that the number of releases were generally in that average range of what we do every year, around 300. Juanita and I have just a few more to process. We had to put that on hold for a couple weeks, but it's not many more to process in terms of coming in. So we'll continue to work that. I think we'll be in good shape with that. I've also wanted to report that our school counselors, as well as our district nurse, have been working all week to create a Google site to attach to our website that is a huge library of resources for families, from everything to mental health and how to, if you have a student with autism, how to access a different avenue for resources. It's loaded. So we're going to start linking Google sites that have been developed by departments and or teachers. We're going to start linking those on Friday. I gave the directive to not be putting in requests to our tech department for that right now, as tech is focusing on Chromebooks and getting them to students. So until they have the Chromebooks on their hands, links, they're great, but we need to get the devices in the hands first. So beginning Friday, at least for my department, the directive is I review the site first, check the link, make sure everything is appropriate and intact, and then then they send it to Nicole and her department to upload the link. And Nicole will verify, have this approved by Nadine. If they say yes, then we're going to get it posted. So I'm really pleased
Windows that have a
with
slide that goes kind of
the
like
SPED and
there.
Student Services
So
Department. We started holding meetings right away on March 23rd, and I think it took their anxiety down. They have a huge responsibility in this district, distance learning piece, and I'm sure those of you that are working in school settings are discovering that distance learning doesn't look the same for students with disabilities as it does for gen ed, and it's extremely complex. And families are very stressed right now, but the case carriers have done an amazing job in regular contact with families. I've only had one parent phone call in 4 weeks. That tells me that the employee base in this department has done an amazing job with their students. So we hope to continue that. I'm very proud of them. They're just coming up with amazing ideas and doing a wonderful job with their families. So I really want to publicly acknowledge the SPED and Student Services Department for really just hunkering down, reaching out to each other, collaborating, and getting the work done. They've done an amazing job. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Any questions?
I just have one comment. I just want to say thank you very, very much to the entire SPED department. These are our most vulnerable students, and the idea of remote learning is probably going to affect them way more than our rest of our population base. So whatever we can do to think outside of the box and come up with creative ways to address their needs, But this is going to be a major challenge, and I'm glad that you guys are up for it. But just let everyone know, thank you very much for what they're doing, and to make sure that the education is
This
happening
was
for everybody.
3
Thank
years
you.
ago.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
That is so neat.
Any other comments or questions?
I'd like to go watch her.
Mhm.
Well, she hasn't been. But I love it.
Okay, thank you, Nikki,
It's
for
a
your
good
work.
stress reliever.
Yeah.
Becky, you want to go next?
So
Okay.
That's the.
Hi,
Oh, wow.
so as you might imagine,
That's
HR
so
has been
cute.
a very busy department these last few weeks.
Wow.
Um,
Oh, like,
So as you heard from Jill's report for SRTA, we were able to come to an agreement for the MOU with our teachers union. And we feel like it is a very fair, reasonable agreement that's gonna help all of us work together through these next few weeks as we get through the end of the school year. So we're very happy with it. It's on the agenda tonight for your approval. We did have an announcement today of our first district employee who has tested positive for COVID-19. This afternoon, an email went out to all staff to notify them. It's an employee from New Republic. But we do understand from the information presented that there has been no exposure of the virus to other employees or students or anyone. So we're very grateful for that. And also that the employee seems to be doing well. I was able to talk to the employee on the phone today, and it sounds like the recovery is going to go well, and so we're glad to hear that. With that in mind, we do have a lot of new leave rights that are coming out through the state and federally for the coronavirus. So the Families First Coronavirus Response Act was initiated. It took effect April 1st and does provide leave rights for employees who need to take care of themselves due to the virus or take care of family members. So I was glad to have that information and be able to share that with this employee to let them know that they don't have to worry about their leave rights in a time when they're dealing with a personal crisis. We also responded to the new shelter-in-place order that was issued for Monterey County on Friday. So there are increased safety measures at all sites. We were able to post today with the help of Nicole posting on our websites and Victor posting physically at the school sites the Appendix A that outlines our social distancing protocols. We have increased custodial services at the school sites. For the last couple of weeks, we had decreased them, anticipating fewer employees at the school sites. We found that there were more employees at the school sites than we had expected. We do know that there are people who need to be at the school sites to make copies, distribute materials to students, distribute food at certain locations, And also we have some employees who just don't have internet at home and so forth, and so they prefer to work out of their classroom. And so we are increasing those custodial services back to daily for specific areas that are in use to provide protection for the employees. And I do want to give a shout out to Victor because he's done a great job working with his team to set up fair rotations and make sure he's taking care of them and giving them all the safety precautions as well, PPE gear, etc. Chuck is not here with us, but I did want to share that I've been in communication with him regarding his food service employees, who are right now, I think, the real heroes of our district. They have been working nonstop, even coming in during their spring break when they were supposed to be off, to put together service for about 1,300 students a day now that some of the school districts are on spring break, which means 2,600 meals in a day. So they're doing a phenomenal job. Chuck has separated the food service workers into 2 different teams, prepping the food at different locations so that if there is an infection with one person, they're not going to take out the entire food services department. And also to keep under the 10-person maximum that's been recommended for the shelter in place. He is planning to have the food service prepare extra food on Friday to distribute because Monday, April 13th is a non-work day for 10-month employees based on our school calendar. And so they will be providing extra food on Friday so that they can have that Monday off and then resume service on Tuesday. And they will be notifying the families as they do their pickups on Friday at those distribution centers. We also just wanted to let you know that while we were able to put together meals during spring break, our surrounding districts are not doing that. So there is an impact on our food service, but they are rising to the challenge and glad to help for our community. Do you have any questions, or is there any other information that I can share for you?
Does the board have any questions or comments?
I have 2. First, Becky, I want to thank you and everyone else in the admin staff for working with our teachers in classified. You know, now is a critical time. These are uncharted waters, and, you know, for everyone to come together and give up a little bit in order to get things done. And I'm glad that everyone is extending themselves a little more, compromising more, and working together. So thank you, and the classified and the certificated staff. The second thing was on the food distribution. You know, I think those are, for right now, we have 2 primary focuses. One is food distribution, and the other is maintaining or achieving increase in academics. You know, so, but the food is critical right now. We're having a huge unemployment in our area, especially with our parents. So the more we can get the food out there, the better. I know other districts were on spring break this week, and you guys just took that extra load and ran with it. You know, so once again, thank you for rising to the occasion. You know, I am a little concerned about our staff, you know, and making sure that we do have enough disinfecting going on in the schools. So I'm glad that we're increasing staff on the HR level to make sure our custodians are there and providing the vital services that they need. But a major shout out above all else is for people out there. I went out the other day and they were serving food in the rain. You know, these are essential employees. And when they're out there with the umbrella in the rain, making sure our community is fed, there's nothing greater that I can say about that than saying we are a community school district. So thank you, and thank them very much.
Thank you. I'll pass that on.
I want to, Mr. Patel, comments. I have gone through the New Republic service a couple of times, and from a distance, seeing how much they are serving, and seeing families walking out. And so thank you for all the efforts that have been happening on that end. And I agree with the critical about food being a major need for many families right now. And thank you to the district for really stepping it up.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to Chuck.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Becky, for the report.
Hey, ask Chuck, when am I gonna get those buffalo wings? You know, I've been waiting 3 years. 3 years. Haven't got a single buffalo wing. I'm letting you know right now.
It's gonna be time for that when we get to celebrate, I think, Mr. Patel. Rosa, do you wanna go ahead and give a business update?
Yes, hi everyone. So I did give you a lot of information on the last Friday letter. So I don't want to repeat again myself. I think one of the most important items, it was in regards to the funding for COVID-19 that came from the state. At the beginning, that funding was only available for the schools that were open. However, since the whole schools in the state closed, the state did make some adjustments on that. So at the end, we qualified for that funding. We got approximately $60,000 on that. That money is gonna go to support the cafeteria fund as they are using more staff and they are using more hourly salaries for that. So that's gonna be definitely to support the cafeteria fund on that. And other items that I have new, I guess that I didn't share on Friday, is that I just sent out an email today in regards to electronic timesheets. This is something that employees can actually fill out from their home and they can sign it electronically and email that to their supervisors. And the principals or supervisors are also available to sign that timesheet electronically and send it to the secretaries and to our payroll department. So we no longer have only the option for paper timesheets. We're moving more to an electronic timesheets, which is gonna help out to minimize any exposure with COVID-19. That's pretty much what I have for now. And as always, I'm always available by email or any questions you might have. I'm always available. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. Any questions or comments from the board? No questions? Okay.
Well, you know I'm gonna comment, right? Yeah. Rosa, I just want to say thank you for the phenomenal job you're doing. I think for us shifting into more electronic signatures with other forms as well, sometimes adversity creates opportunities, for us to excel in other areas. So keep doing what you're doing. And, I'm looking forward to the projections we're looking at, from the state when it finally closes in May. But keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I want to start out by thanking Becky Moore, Nadine Dermody, Nicole Jensen, who've been here with me every day through this. Rosa's been supporting us a lot from home. She's got her husband and kids there. She comes in when she can, but really, these three ladies have been here. We spent spring break together. We spent last week. Nadine pointed out we're going on week 4, and everybody just really rallied and we've just been working as hard as we can. We're rolling out, Nicole's team rolled out, tomorrow we'll make over 900 elementary Chromebooks. Hussam and the IT guys going in, putting them in Destiny so that we can track who received which device. Nicole going and arranging with each site a safe measure to get those Chromebooks out so that our staff can come in and work and keep themselves safe while serving the public. Her work in setting up resources for our teachers is just above and beyond the amount of hours she's put in. Right now, none of us are getting paid based on that because it's incalculable. And same for our teachers. Each of these distributions, we've had an incredible number of our teachers and classified staff who have stepped up and volunteered to come in a way jeopardizing their own safety to make sure that this work gets done, because these devices need to get into students' hands so that instruction can happen at the highest level possible for our students. Working closely with Nadine's staff on ensuring that we are providing equitable services for our SPED students. Lucy Azniga at Santa Rita Elementary, heading up making sure we're still providing good quality ELD instruction for our EL students as we go forward. There's so many people I wish I could honor in this, because there's no way any of us could get this work done without them. But each time I've gone, Michelle decided to do things like hand out Chromebooks. I have teachers who are showing up saying, I'm glad to be here to help. I mean, they're driving an hour to get here to do this work. So we in Santa Rita, I know we're often compared to our neighboring districts, and people want to know how come we're not doing this or how come we're not doing that. There are challenges to being small, but there are beautiful things about being small. And at this point, I think our strongest suit is Santa Rita might be kind of small, but we're pretty mighty. And I think that we'll weather this, and we'll be providing some pretty good instruction for our students. And the support and check-in for those students who need it from counselors and things like that, that we also worry about those students and their socio-emotional health while they're away from us. The work that Nadine and Peter Fleming put in to ensure that those supports with the counselors and those connections are still going is just profound. And so mostly that's what I've been spending my day-to-day doing, just trying to troubleshoot, build resources for our teachers as we go. As I indicated to our teachers, I want them to take their time. I reminded them in Santa Rita, we all learn and grow, and we're all learning and we're all growing, and we will get better at this as we go. They're making connections with their students. I talked to one teacher in New Republic today, and she knew the 3 or 4 students that weren't on her hangout and why they weren't on their hangout yet. She connected with them outside of it. So our teachers are just doing an amazing job, and our classified just stepping up to get all the good work done that needs to happen on the daily.
Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa. Any questions or comments from the board? No,
Here we go. First of all, I want to say my number one concern right now for our district is making sure we're not losing students, losing contact. I want to make sure that every site is reaching each and every student. I don't want any lost students. You know, if we can contact them, we can't contact the parents. I think that as an anchor to bring our community together, especially during the difficult time. So I think having the normalcy of having that interaction with the school setting is huge. Out training with both on those, I think they have a 97% connection rate with each and every student. I think our district is doing a much better job than other districts in making sure we're not losing students and making sure we're doing the extra things we need to do to make contact. So we decide to make sure that no one's left out, that they make contact with each and every student. Even those ones that it's very difficult, you know, I applaud them to keep going, you know, I think that. A couple of other items regarding our food services. My understanding is we're partnering with the food bank once a week, correct?
The food bank on Wednesdays, and they're delivering a certain number of meals for families to pick up in addition to truck service.
Is that being well utilized, or could we do more advertisement on that?
They're handing out every meal that they have every Wednesday at each site that they delivered to. I was there for that today at New Republic. The bags that the food bank put together, rice, pasta, some vegetables, some canned items for families to take in addition to the meals. It's pretty awesome. Another thing, I don't know if you received information about this, but Donna Koenig is working with a former colleague who now works for Cisco to provide some pretty comprehensive meals for about 60 of our neediest families. And they'll be able to pick that up on Friday. It was a former colleague of ours from MPUSD reached out to her and asked if their little sister Santa Rita might be interested in doing this too. And we said absolutely. So Donna Koenig handled that. And each principal worked with their teachers to identify those families who could most benefit from that.
Melissa, can I add something really quick? For the food bank services, they are doing 200 bags per week, only on Wednesdays. We did ask for more, if we can do more days or more bags. But since they're also helping out other districts, they only had a limit for 200 bags once a week. So we did try that at the beginning, and then as of today, that's the limit that we have and what we can offer. And of course, 200 bags is not enough for all the students that we serve, but as of today, that's the only amount, the limit that we have so far.
And Rosa, was that accepted there because of their budget or just their capacity?
Yeah, this is from the food bank. So what our food services does is that they go on Wednesday morning, pick up 200 bags from the food bank, and that's the only limit we have. We can only do 200 bags per week on Wednesdays. And that's why we can only, so that's separate from the food services that we're offering. That's coming from the food bank.
Okay,
That's the limit that the food bank can provide us, I think is what you were asking, Mr. Sandoval. Yes.
Melissa, a couple of other questions regarding the Chromebook distribution. What age are we going from to what grade? I'm sorry, from what grade level to what grade level in the elementary schools that we're distributing?
Every grade level. Any family who indicates that they need a Chromebook for the duration of this are welcome to pick one up. And if families have multiple children, they can choose if they'd like more than one device. Lots of families with two have said, no, one's fine, it'll be okay. And we have more than enough, which we're blessed with the fact that we have one-to-one devices for our elementary. We're not having to, struggle for that. So that there's a sense of ease for that. Another thing that we've done that went out this Monday, we managed to work with Migrant Education at MCOE, Summer Prager Smith, let us purchase, there's one behind me, a little sample for a small, a little one, a primary grade student, a backpack of school supplies. For our older students, it were boxed kits, pencils, papers, colored pencils, markers, those kinds of things that students may not readily have. And our families were asked if they need supplies, and if they indicated yes, then they were given a backpack with school supplies at all of our sites.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I've been talking to some teachers at the elementary schools, and they were wondering, and I'm glad it's going all the way down to the kindergarten level. Quick question on the other issue is accessibility and equity regarding internet access at the home site. Where are we in terms of hotspots and
We're working with MCOE to attempt to secure some hotspots. They are a little difficult to come by these days. What we have done is there are 3 local providers that if the district can supply a letter to a family indicating that they receive free and reduced lunch, as you may know, all of our students qualify for, but the letter needs specific information for each recipient. So I couldn't just do a form letter. So we have a Google form with requests for that information so that then we can do a mail merge, get that letter to the family that they could take to one of those internet providers for the low cost or free internet to assist them to do that. Several of our teachers have assisted families to fill out, it's a very short form, but we have a lot of families who struggle with technology or literacy and things like that. And so our teachers are stepping up, just walking them through it and filling it out on their behalf, which will allow us on Friday to turn around, do a mail merge, get those letters to those families who've indicated it, and with instructions on how to go to one of the 3 local providers to try to get it. And a little feedback.
I do have a question regarding Chromebooks. In case a family happens, there's multiple kids, whatever, but in case the Chromebook gets damaged or that there's, are they being held accountable for it? Are they being able to exchange?
And what we've done, we took sort of that PWN form that Nadine and Peter sent out, and what the form that we're giving families indicates your acceptance of the device. Remember that you signed a user agreement policy and the damage for the Chromebook. We've also got a help desk that will go live on Friday. If a family has an issue with it, we will just simply do an exchange with another device, bring that one in rather than make them wait for repairs. We have enough on hand to do that.
Thank you, Melissa. I just want to say thank you for what you and Tim have done, to making sure the system is providing. Thank you for your education.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Any other questions before we move forward from the board? No? Okay. So now we go to reports of the board activities or meetings attended. Mr. Patel, do you want to go first?
Once again, I haven't obviously been able to go inside the schools, but I do drive around, I talk to students, teachers and parents. Some of them have been on site, outside, helping deliver the food. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you. When the other day when I saw them in the rain, out there getting food to our community, it just, this is sometimes, in difficult times, we have a bright shining star. And I see them at 6 sites, so thank you. And the 7th one, which is the HQ.
Ms. Young, do you want to go next?
Yes, no, I don't have anything to report this time around, and I've just been sheltering in place.
Ms. Aragui?
I just want to say thank you to all staff, administrators, and everybody involved in making everything seem to run so smoothly, because your reports really are impressive. I did speak to Mr. Gutierrez from Bolsa Knolls, and I was highly impressed that he did report 97% attendance through the Google Classroom and stuff. So it's looking great. Thank you all.
I don't have anything to report. I have been driving around as well, and also been pretty impressed with the service, and want to thank all the staff and everybody involved. So thank you. Now we move on to, did we get any messages or emails, Melissa, from the public?
Nicole, have we received any additional emails?
No, we have not.
Okay. Seeing as none, we'll move on to item 5, personnel, 5.1.
Okay, so 5.1 is the 2021 school year calendar. I shared this with you at our last meeting for your review. And as I shared the process, generally we would have a committee. In this situation, it didn't seem likely that was going to happen. So we virtually shared this with our 2 units, with administrators, and all the students have been positive. It does correlate with most of the districts around us. We have not yet seen a draft calendar from the high school district still.
And you probably won't for a while.
Yeah, I was there last year. So, but I heard nothing but positive feedback about this draft, and so I felt confident that it was us where we need to be this year, and also help us to get planning as we start getting ready for the next school year. Get it done early.
Mr. Sandoval, I'll need you to read the brief description for 5.1 before we take a vote.
Consider approve the SRUSD 2020 to 2021 school calendar year. The school year calendar of the 2020 to 2021 school year is similar to the previous year, except that the spring holiday is moved to the week before Easter.
Motion to approve 5.1.
Mr. Patel motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
And Ms. Arellano seconds. Any discussion before we vote? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Motion carries 4-1. 5.1 has been approved. Now we move on to item 5.2. Consider approval of the memorandum of understanding between SRUSD and the Santa Rita Teachers Association regarding coronavirus COVID-19 response. bargaining units have a right to negotiate the effects of a change in working conditions. The district and SRTA have agreed upon the terms included in the MOU.
So we did meet on March 27th virtually in this format, as we are in our meeting today, to discuss this MOU, and we worked on a lot of the language collaboratively. Lou joined us for the district team, and taking into consideration SRTA's what they felt were important items to be included for them. And so we feel that it is a good agreement that's going to help us work through the rest of this school year together with them.
Any questions or comments from the board? No? Okay, can I get a motion to approve 5.2?
I make a motion to approve 5.2.
I second that.
All right, I have a second for Ms. Saidi. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. 5.2. Now we move on. There's nothing on item 6, nothing for 7, 8. Let's move on to item 10, future meetings or board items requested by the board. Is there any requested by the board?
You know what, I just have, just one comment, and, I think everybody probably already knows that our former superintendent, Shelley Morrison, passed away 3 days ago. And, is there any, like, card or, I know that she was asking for donations for the medical facility. Have we done anything to, or, you know, have we reached out to help with this?
At this time, as a group, we have not, Elva, but we can certainly work on getting that put together.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And, can you sign it from all of the board members as well as the district office too, please?
I'll share any information with you before we move forward with it.
Okay, thank you.
No, yeah, it already happened.
Thank you, Ms. Leon. Any other comments, questions, or future items?
I do have one item, Jacob, and like I stated earlier, our number one concern is make sure we don't lose contact with our students. I would like to see a report next time, site by site, on what percentage they're able to reach the students and what we're making. To me, that's a critical thing is making sure we provide that stable education no matter what. And so the more data we see, I think, it's in the so please, I'd like to see that validation.
We'll get that information for you. Each teacher's keeping a communication log for that very reason. We haven't gotten guidance from the state yet on attendance. So we've just been assuming something will come out. So we wanted to do that. So I'll get that information for you from each of our sites for our next meeting.
Did they do the consent agenda?
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I just was on vacation. It's okay.
Any last
Your report
items
was
before we
awesome.
close out?
Also, food
You didn't
distribution
say
as
he or
well.
she.
No,
You
thank you.
did
Thank you.
it.
I'm good at the same time.
You
That's a good
did
idea.
it.
Mr. Sandoval, Becky went to ask Juanita a question. We just wanted to make sure that we verified that we did do approval of the consent agenda.
Yes, we did.
Did we do it? Okay,
It's gone by so quickly.
just checking before we got off the line. Thanks.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, so we're adjourning at 5:48. All those in favor say aye.
I
Thank you, everybody. Be safe and healthy.
You too. Thank you very much.
Stay safe.